Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Poonam Mehta. I'm a human design coach and an energy healer. And in today's video, I'll be talking about the profile 5-2, which is the Heretic Hermit profile. Now, if you have not come across my channel before, be sure to subscribe to it and follow me on Instagram at Human Design with Poonam. So with that, let's get started. What are profiles in human design? Profiles in human design are a really cool way of figuring out how the world sees you, how you see yourself, and how you are designed to do things in life, how you're designed to show up in this world in a way that it maximizes your impact in the way you do things and how you do things. The profile is comprised of two lines. In this case, it's line 5, which is the Heretic line, and line 2, which is the Hermit line. Now, line 5, which is the first line, that is your conscious characteristic, which means that you're very aware of this heretic characteristics within you. Line 2, on the other hand, that's your unconscious line. So you may or may not be aware of these tendencies within you depending on the amount of inner work that you have done on yourself, but people definitely see this in you. People recognize you more than a heretic. They're going to see you as a hermit, at least initially when they first come across you. So that's what profiles represent. And depending on the profile you have, there's also a lot of predictive elements within profiles that sort of tell you what to expect in life. All right, so let's get into line 5. Line 5 is the heretic line, and as it suggests, you are a heretic, which means that you are here to bring about radical transformations at the time of crisis. And that's the key over here. Your help is required during crisis. You are the fixer, you are the savior, but you're not designed to be so in day-to-day normal functioning times. You are really here to solve a crisis. You're here to fix a crisis, and that's the key for it, right? Sometimes line 5s can have a savior complex and they want to go and save everyone, but they do have to be called because line 5 is a projected line. So you have to be called, you have to be recognized. People will call for you during the time of crisis, and that's when you are designed to show up to bring about that radical transformation. The other thing when it comes to heretic is that these solutions that you are giving to people, these cannot just be these interim solutions. They can be just these one-off solutions that are going to work right then, and it's not going to sustain a long term, because when heretic comes in, you are literally like it's crisis, right? So you're establishing a new way of living, you're establishing the new norm. So with that, you have to come in with those practical tools so that you can allow humanity to use those tools for times to come that are going to sustain this new norm for them. So heretic is here to solve that crisis situation, but also provide that practical solution to people that is going to give them this long-term sustainability. Now, line 5 has a very seducing element to them. They are very attractive to others, and they're attracted to others for a reason, right? This is why people are going to call upon you, because they are going to be seduced by you without you even knowing it, right? You likely, as a line 2 in your unconscious, you don't even want anything to do with it, but you will notice that people really respond to you in a certain way. They definitely feel the seductive energy. The other thing with line 5 is that line 5 does have to get recognized, and line 5 also has to be ready to solve that crisis. If a line 5 tries to solve that crisis prematurely, while it's not ready, or while it's not there to provide that practical solution that everyone is looking up to it for, then it is going to be burned at the stake the way a heretic would be, because you end up losing your reputation, which could be the worst thing for a line 5. So be sure you're ready to provide that solution when people need it. The interesting thing about a line 5 for a profile 5-2 is that because you have this hermit on your unconscious side, you will likely not want to do anything with it. When people call upon you, people will they project upon you. They see you as a savior. That's just line 5. People think they know everything about you, which may not necessarily even be true, but they're going to project upon you. They're going to see you as a savior. And if you don't respond to that call, then it's going to be along the lines of, well, I needed their help, only they can solve my problem, but they're not even ready to help me. So that is another way that you could lose your reputation, where you decide that you don't want to save somebody because you can't be bothered, but yet this other person is looking for your help and they need that heretical approach that you have. So these are some of the situations that you have to respond to. Okay, so now let's talk about line 2. Line 2 is your unconscious trait. This means that people see this in you, but you may not necessarily see this in yourself. As a line 2, you are a hermit, which means that you do need a lot of alone time to yourself. You need that isolation for your creativity to emerge. When I say alone time, it can be alone time around people. You literally need that solitary time, away from other people's auras, away from that contamination, and that is when this powerful creativity really emerges out of you. Your creativity does require isolation. Now line 2 is a projected line as well, but the projection is a little bit different. Here there's this innocence about line 2 where people with line 5, people are going to project upon you, right? They're going to think of you in certain ways that you may or may not be. They're going to assume certain things about you. Line 2 is the opposite, where line 2, there's this innocence about you, and whatever is going on within you, they will be able to see it in your face. So that's why when people see you as a savior, you likely are going to be that savior for them, because they can see that. Thanks to your line 2, they'll be able to see that. With line 2, you're also a natural. So what this means is that there are some things that come to you very naturally, and people are often left wondering, wow, how is it that it is so effortless for them? And that is line 2 for you. You are a natural. It doesn't mean that you don't need education. Education is mandatory. Everyone needs to learn, but you don't need to learn as much as a line 1 does. Line 1 needs to study a lot. You don't need to do that. You may need to just learn from 1 or 2 good teachers, and then that's about it. And then you have to kind of go into your isolation to master that process until you become a natural at it. And when you become a natural at it, you are going to become that savior for people, and people are going to recognize that natural savior aspect within you, and they're going to recognize you and call upon you. With a line 2, there is a mastery that is required in isolation. So it's not that you're automatically going to become a natural at it. You are going to have to master that process, and depending on the type of circuitry you have, that mastery process may end up looking a little bit different for you and have you mastered. So I would almost go back to your past and think about some of those things that you're really natural at and how exactly you mastered those things. There's another thing over here, is that if something is not natural for you, then chances are it is not your thing. Right after you have given it a few tries, if something just doesn't come effortlessly for you, like don't go for it. That's not going to be your thing. As a profile 5-2, you are here to be a savior. People are going to call upon you to become that savior, to become a fixer of their problems. And the way you do it is by providing practical solutions to them that are going to sustain them for a long time to come. These are some of the solutions that you have mastered in your isolation using your Hermit process. And these are some of the things that you're going to be amazingly natural at. And people are going to see this innate natural genius within you, and they're going to call upon you. But as a 5-2, because you are also a hermit, you will likely not want to go and help anyone. You don't want to be bothered. You don't want to deal with it. We use the analogy of a house within human design, and a profile 5-2 is the one that is in the house, not on the lower level, but in the top level with their lights turned off, because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to just have anything to do with it. But here's the thing, right? With a profile 5-2, people are going to see that genius within you, and they are, with that seductive element that you have, they're going to want your help. If you decide to not help them, you are going to lose your reputation, because people do know that you can help. So even though it is selfish, and this is a bit of a selfish profile in that way, you are required in a way to motivate yourself and go out and help others. No one else will be able to motivate you except you. You're the only one who can do that to yourself. So yeah, that is what sums a profile 5-2, and I hope this video has helped. If you got a lot of value from this video, be sure you like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.